Today, President Trump announced he supports suspending the federal gas tax. That excise tax is about 18 cents or so. To do that, it would require congressional approval to make that happen. But it comes days after the president told a reporter that gas prices have come down substantially. Our partners at PolitiFact looked at President Trump's most recent statements on this. PolitiFact chief correspondent Lou Jacobson joining us here. Okay, so Lou, what did you find about the president's claim that gas prices have come down substantially?
Yeah, so Trump was definitely wrong there, and we gave him a rating of false. At the time Trump said that, the national average price of gasoline for a gallon had gone up each day for 4 straight days, from $4.46 on May 4th to $4.56 on May 7th. The day after Trump's remark, the price did drop slightly to $4.55, and today it's down to $4.52. But even if Trump could have known about that drop in advance, it certainly would not have been a very substantial drop, as he said. It would be a decline of a fraction of 1%.
Okay, looking a little bit more upstream, I guess, when it comes to the production of gas, crude oil prices have dropped slightly, which is used to make gasoline. And the president specifically was talking about gas prices, but crude oil has come down some.
Yeah, so the two key metrics for crude oil prices fell by about 10% and 6% in the days before Trump spoke. They've actually gone up a little bit since then. But first of all, he didn't say crude oil, he said gasoline. And a drop in the price of crude oil can take weeks to show up at gas stations.
So how is the price of gasoline right now comparing to what we've seen historically? I know a lot of people talk about, the inflationary period post-COVID, but historically put what we're dealing with right now in perspective for us, Lou.
Yeah, so it's quite high thanks to the Iran war. The price the day after Trump spoke, about $4.55 per gallon, was the 9th highest weekly price going back to 1990. So that's a lot of months. And that's the year the government started collecting this data. The only time period when gas cost more than it currently does was for an 8-week period between May and July of 2022, right after the invasion of Ukraine.
And is there a sense at this point, like that $5 mark is kind of the high water mark so far we've seen for prices? Is there any indication of how high prices this time could go?
Yeah, I mean, $5 is about where the all-time high is, at least in nominal terms. We spoke to the experts, and they said that even after crude oil is starting to flow freely again, and no one is sure when that will be, gasoline prices will probably stay high for several more months. So far, we've lost close to 70 days of crude oil shipments, and filling that backlog will take months. And also fixing the damage sustained by the oil facilities in the Gulf region will also slow things down. And because wholesale prices have actually been rising faster than what consumers are paying at the pump during the past 8 weeks, further price increases are probably still working their way through the system. So it's not certain, but experts told us that a $5 a gallon gas could be on tap for this summer.
Which again would be the highest. We have seen that 2022 period was when we hit that $5 mark here in the Granite State, I think 502 nationally. All right, so we'll be watching to see what happens over the next few weeks. Lou Jacobson, thanks for your time.
Great, thank you.